Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to the Citizen channel, and we have a preview show today. We're going to look forward to the game at the Etihad against West Ham United on the 27th of February 2021, 12:30 p.m. kickoff. So a nice good chance for us to pick up 3 points and obviously put the pressure on the other teams below, go 13 points clear and see what they can do. It's nice to be in that position, isn't it? It's showing on BT Sports as far as I can see. Please, today we'll have our usual features, including a look at our opponents, West Ham, and Mr. Moyes, of course, and a certain player who's turned up there that I don't really like that much, but we'll talk about him later on. And of course, my thoughts on the game and the possible lineups. We'll do the history boys, looking back at a couple of the old games. Quite interesting information on these two games against West Ham. We've had a few interesting meetings with them over time. The odds on the game, of course, my just for fun bets. I don't condone gambling anyway. And please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification so you know these vlogs are coming out. I try to do history stuff, city present, quizzes, vlog magazines, lots of different stuff. So I'm trying to get to 1,000. It's going to be quite tight, it's going to be quite close, but I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of May or the end of the football season. So if you can give me your support, that'd be great, or point any other City fans in my direction, that'd be really much appreciated. And if you do check the playlist, all this City stuff, there's film and TV stuff as well. I have a film and TV channel. If that's no interest to you, don't worry about it. It's loads of football stuff, but if you've any interest in that, please have a look at that. I do film reviews, drama reviews, information, vlogs, lots of different things, quizzes even as well on film and TV, so have a check that out. Or if you know someone who might be interested, please give them a little nudge in my direction. That'd be absolutely great. A couple of links on screen for Facebook and Twitter. I do try and check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. I post loads of stuff, and please, all your comments very, very welcome about this game, about football in general, again, about City, whatever you want to talk about, that's no problem. And of course, if you can't give us a comment, just give us a nice thumbs up. It's nice to get a thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to see plenty of thumbs ups as well. So if you can do that for me. Right, let's have a look at this one. Yeah, BT Sports, as I say. 12:30 p.m. kickoff. You know, it's become the norm now, hasn't it? I mean, obviously that used to be, I've got to finish, get out of work and get there and sort of be quick and plan everything. And now it's just a matter of planning where I'm going to watch the game, to be honest with you, how I'm going to stream the game. So it's a bit depressing, really, isn't it? It's become all routine, but hopefully, certainly by next season, things may be more or less, hopefully, back to normal. But it's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, quite interesting, isn't it, when you consider this was the last game as well. West Ham was the last team we played, don't forget, at the Etihad. It was a pre-arranged game even, and a lot of people didn't turn up for the pre-arranged game, but we'll talk about that in a moment anyway. We're going to have a look at the history boys now. And this is what we're going to talk about. Last time out, of course, the 19th of February. It was due to be the 9th of February. It actually says the 9th of February on the programme, so it was obviously redone. I've just watched my vlog that I did for it. I wasn't a very happy bunny. I mean, we actually won the game, but obviously, talk about that in a moment. Anyway, yeah, it was a pretty poor turnout. Obviously, a lot of people couldn't obviously people had planned for the 9th of February, and obviously with it changed to the 19th, a lot of people just couldn't make it. So it was, but it was possibly the worst I've seen, definitely at the Etihad since the extension, since they actually built the extension to the South Stand. It was one of the for a competitive game, one of the least attended that I've ever noticed, but put it that way. So for the last game, it wasn't great, was it? Yeah, UEFA had just banned us, hasn't it, at the time? They just announced a 2-year ban. So there's a little bit of abuse for a UEFA at the game. I mean, the game itself, yeah, Gabby was missing good chances. I was a bit fed up with him. We scored from a corner, which was quite rare now, isn't it, still? But even rarer then. We had a back header from Rodri who scored from a corner just before half-time. There's a bit of commotion in the South Stand. I think a Walker shot hit someone, but I don't know, there's a bit of, I don't know whether we got any footage of that, but he took one of the fans out in the South Stand. And the biggest cheer, well, one of the biggest cheers, I'll tell you about another biggest cheer, it was nothing to do with City. It was at half-time, we had the famous world record sprint between Manchester and Hammerhead, didn't we? And obviously Manchester took him to the cleaners, didn't he? So that was one of the highlights of the game. Obviously on 60 Minutes was perhaps the other big highlight. Of course, Zabaleta came on with all the usual songs for our hero Zabaleta. Of course, he's retired now, hasn't he? Of course, KDB made it 2-0 as well. He was sort of man of the match, I think, on that night. So an easy, comfortable City win. I mean, City had 20 shots, 7 on target to West Ham's 3 shots, 0 on target. A bit more of that tomorrow. Saturday would be nice. That left City second on 22 points behind Liverpool. West Ham was struggling. They were 18th. They were 3 from the bottom. Obviously, we know they got through, but yeah, I left them struggling on 18th, West Ham. And just think how they're doing now. I mean, we'll talk about them in a minute, but that's quite amazing to think, isn't it? In total, at home against West Ham in our various grounds, Hyde Road, Main Road, the Etihad, we've played 51 times. We won 35. Drawn 5 and lost 11. We've scored 107 goals and had 62 goals scored against us. Our biggest win, I was there that day, 17th of August 1974. So this one here, great image with Colin Bell on the front at Blackpool in the Texaco Cup. Fantastic. I was at that one as well, but I just love that programme. One of my favourite programmes of all time, favourite programme covers of all time. I would have put it on this screen as well for you, but yeah, there you go. So it was the opening game of the 1974-75 season, the 17th of August. Tony Buck in charge. Of course, the season before had been a little bit disappointing. I think we finished 14th or something like that, which wasn't great for the team we had. We'd obviously lost the League Cup final to Wolves, my first trip to Wembley, so that was pretty depressing. They tried to keep Dennis Law, but they'd asked him to stay on another year, but he said he wanted to go out at the top. Whether the League Cup, losing the League Cup and finishing 14th is out at the top, I'm not too sure. But yeah, he refused to stay on for another season, so we lost Dennis Law. But we were to see a debut of another guy who became a bit of a City legend. I mean, we'll talk about that in a moment. There's a little piece on this programme about the match from one of the reporters, so I'm going to read a little bit out of that one. That's the West Ham game on the April the 16th, 1983, but I'll quote from that in a minute on debut days, because obviously it talks about our debutant that day against West Ham. A crowd of 30,240, not too bad. It wasn't the biggest crowd, but not too bad. Of course, as I say, we'll have a quick look at the debut day piece in here from Don Evans, penned his report in the News of the World. So here we go. He talked about Asa Hartford. Yes, he was the guy who made his debut, obviously along with Jeff Clark as well. Not so well known, but Jeff Clark is the guy perhaps we'll touch upon in a player profile one day, perhaps. Jeff Clark, yeah. So Don Evans penned his report to the News of the World, just reading from his piece here, debut days. Ace Hartford, all 250,000 of him, paraded his costly talents before the new Main Road fans yesterday, but it was club captain Rodney Marsh, not unexpectedly, who stole the show. West Ham open at the back and still apparently unable to harness effective finishing to finesse became a few hopeful flurries apart, merely a mobile backcloth for a City 4-goal show. Asa clearly warmed to his new challenge, continued Evans. In the beginning, Hartford was cheered on the field, was prompted by an indulgent West Ham defence to respond with a 6-minute drive to test Mervyn Day, the goalkeeper. In the 29th minute, he was applauded politely for a header which went just wide, and in the 45th minute was applauded enthusiastically for forcing Tommy Taylor to turn an effort onto the post. There was, however, no stopping Marsh, who held centre stage, added Evans. In the end, it was Marsh and his men cheered off with City skipper, the undisputed man of the match. So Rodney Marsh, obviously, Hartford's debut, but Rodney Marsh got man of the match. City were rarely difficult. A comfortable start for young Clark. There we go. Dennis Stewart opened the score in the 10th minute, and though the lead was not increased until after the interval, the Hammers were backpedalling all the way. In the 47th minute, the visitors muffed a clearance, and Marsh took a Phil Henson cross, chested it up, and then stroked it down with his right foot, dummied past John McDowell, and hit a shot past keeper Day. 15 minutes later, Marsh met a dipping header from Mike Doyle, a flick of the heel, a swerve of the body, and the mellow Marsh had Day picking the ball from the net. Stewart laid on a fourth with a cross for Mike Doyle to head home in the 60th minute. Manager Tony Buck was bubbling with confidence at such a flying start to the season, facing the Dutch-style theory from the Mirman Russell. Yeah, he said it was a bit like watching Holland in the World Cup. They did lose, by the way, but there you go. So that's what we're being compared to. Holland. So City were Holland now, not Brazil, Holland. Russell replied, to be able to function effectively this way, you must have the players with skill and intelligence to understand it, work on it, and then make it work for you. So there you go. I mean, debut day for Ace of Hertford. They are 4-0 win. So that's our biggest win. That's not massive, is it? 4-0. I mean, they've done quite well, West Ham, to keep it, for that to be the biggest one. City team that day is a matter of interest. McRae, Barrett, Donaghy, Doyle, Clark, Oakes, Henson, Bell, Marsh, Hartford and Stewart with sub Mr Dennis Lehman. Yeah, biggest defeat, interesting one. This was just as interesting. I may do a horrible histories on this because we actually were beaten 6-1 at Main Road in 1962-63 season, a relegation season for City. But we actually got beat 6-1. We like a 6-1, don't we? At Upton Park as well, the same season. So a 12-2 on aggregates. Hammering for City. Just briefly on the 6-1 defeat, Colin Barlow scored our goal. He actually equalised a Malcolm Musgrove goal before West Ham added another 5 through Scott, Byrne, Martin Peters, Musgrove again, and Jeff Hurst. So they had a pretty good team, didn't they? Because we did lose at the same scoreline at West Ham. The crowd that day, 24,069. Yeah, and it was the same as our relegation season, but it was even worse than that. I mean, after the 5th, Bert Troutman was sent off for kicking the ball at the referee. He wasn't happy with an offside decision that wasn't given for the goal. So Alan Oakes took over in goal. So there you go for the last 10 or 15 minutes with injury time or whatever. I mean, the referee was escorted off the pitch as fans tried to get to him as he was leaving the pitch. Several hundred, up to 1,000 fans, he estimate, stayed behind, throwing stones at the offices, trying to break into the City offices, attempting to get at the referee, shouting, "We want the referee," demanding the sacking of the manager, the then manager McDowell, as we hit rock bottom, obviously, of Division 1, and 100 riot police had to be turned out with dogs. Happy days. 62-63 season, cracking season. The referee was actually smuggled through a back, so they took him round the ground at the back and up through past the Platt Lane corner and smuggled him out of one of the exits there, and obviously he couldn't come out of the front entrance because of all the trouble. But there you go. So that was an interesting, wasn't it? 6-1 hammering, and as City fans, we always took defeat very well, as you can see from that. But perhaps I'll do a little horrible history on that. There's a lot more information, some images and newspaper stuff on that. So might have to do on that if you like it. I'll try and make it a bit of fun, but it was a bit of a horrible history, wasn't it? Let's be honest about it. How are they doing anyway? That's the history part done with. Yeah, I mean, David Moyes doing a good job. They turned them into genuine contenders, all right, not for the title, but certainly for a Champions League place this season. And the 2 points clear at the moment of London rivals Chelsea, and they sit 4th in the table. They beat Tottenham over the weekend. They did get a bit of a battering. It was a bit of a smash and grab for West Ham, to be honest with you. Because obviously Spurs had dominated possession, goal scoring opportunities, everything, shots, possession, passes, every single stat you can think of. Tottenham absolutely dominated, but obviously West Ham come out of that. They've taken 10 from a possible 12 points in the last 4 games, so that's not bad going. Away from home, they're unbeaten in the last 5 games, 3 wins and a draw. And overall, they played 12 games away and won 6, drawn 3 and lost 3. So that's not too shabby, is it? Out with injuries, they're not got bad. There's only Ogbonna, is it Angelo Ogbonna's with an ankle, Andrei Yarmolenko with a knee, and Arthur Masuaku with a knee. So obviously they've got almost a full squad, not quite as full squad perhaps as we have. Although Mr. Moyes has a poor record against Guardiola, so hopefully that'll continue in this game. And of course the former Everton boss and former boss of some other team we won't mention has faced Guardiola on 8 occasions, but he has managed a couple of draws, 6 defeats and a couple of draws. Yeah, I mean, my little thoughts on this. I mean, after that 1-1 draw at the London Stadium for City earlier in the season, I think it was a different City then, wasn't it? Let's be honest about it. I think West Ham will still be confident because they took a point off us up there. So I think, obviously, based on the fact they're doing so well recently as well, they're going to be even more confident. They seem to be flying at the moment. I mean, he can be very attack-minded, but Moyes is a bit canny, isn't he? I mean, there's a lot of criticism of Moyes, but he's quite a canny manager, I think. And, you know, he will attack when he needs to, but West Ham are a lot better defensively now than he used to be. Used to be awful, especially last season. They were terrible, but like City in a way, they've actually strengthened the defence no end. So they can sort of mix it and go for the juggler and attack, or they can do what they did against Tottenham. They can shore it up a little bit and actually have the players to hurt you on the break and set pieces, etc. And I think he is very tactically aware, so I think he'll have his troops ready for this one. I don't think we can afford to let them get anything, can we? As I sort of hinted at early on, they've got a certain gentleman called Lingard in the ranks now, haven't they? And I absolutely can't stand the bloke. I can only hope we demolish them, because only for the reason that Lingard's in the team, to be honest with you. No offence to West Ham, but I don't like him. I do dislike him. I don't want to see his childish celebrations around the Etihad if they get anything out of this game, because it's just so pathetic. I mean, I'm sure the West Ham fans, I think they're sort of, if they'd have been in the ground, I don't think they'd be appreciating Lingard's antics. I just don't, he just acts like a child. I just think, all right, he's celebrating and it's up to him what he does, but he just really annoys me. I just can't stand the bloke. So I do hope we give him a good stuffing, basically, because they've got Lingard in the team. So, and Zab's not there anymore now, is he? So it doesn't really matter. I can't see anything. I mean, as I said, he is tactically aware, but can you see anything other than a City win? I don't think so. I mean, we rested, of course, KDB and Stones. I expect them to start this game. We rested them, of course, for the trip to Monchengladbach, and I think everyone came out of it quite well. I don't think there's any injuries, etc. Obviously, they've had a bit of a longer rest than us, but I can't see anything past us beating West Ham, to be honest. I think Pep will still be a bit angry over getting held to a draw at the London Stadium early in the season. So I think he'll be positive. I think the team will be positive, and as I say, he's probably cracked the whip, and he said he wasn't happy with the sharpness and the finishing, was he? So let's hope we improve on that, because if we don't finish, if we do create 20 odd chances and don't score the goals as they proved against Tottenham, West Ham can nick it up the other end as well. So we have to be careful, but. Yeah, we've got to do it, haven't we? We've got to, any team with Lingard in, we've got to give them a good stuffing, haven't we? And especially with United at Chelsea of the year, they're at Chelsea, and Arsenal at Leicester. So Leicester at home to Arsenal. I don't think Leicester will have it. I think Leicester will beat Arsenal, but and United and Chelsea a draw, perhaps. I'm not too sure, but yes, we've got to win this one. It's not a matter if, and we've got to, haven't we? My 11 for the team, yeah, interesting. I'm gonna. He can't justify playing Sterling, surely, after that performance the other night. I'm not going to put Rodrigo Laporte in, but as I say, he's rotating now, isn't he? He's not resting or dropping players. So I'm going for Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Gundogan, KDB, Mahrez, Bernardo and Jesus. So no space for Foden, but I'd like to see Foden start, but I'd rather see Foden start than Mahrez. But as I say, I think he might switch it about a little bit, and he's not averse to making 5 or 6 changes, as he said. So I've tried to be clever with that. If we get 7 or 8 of those, I'll be quite happy, because we really don't know how his mind's working, do we? Let's be honest about it. But as I say, if Sterling starts, I'll be very, very, very surprised. He's the one that I think. Let me know what you think, what your 11 is, and what your 8. What do you think the score will be, etc. We'll give you my score prediction in a minute. The match officials as well. We've got referee Michael Oliver. Assistants Lionel, Stuart Burton, Simon Bennett. 4th official Paul Tierney. VAR Andre Mariner, and the assistant is Eddie Smart. So no Mr. Peter Bonks this week. So that's good. Yeah, my score prediction. Yeah. I'm going for 3-0. I'm going for 3-0 for City. I was thinking 2-0 or 3-1, but I'm sick of doing 3-1s. I know it's a safe bet, but I'll go 3-0. As I said, when we come to my little just for fun bets, I'm going to do a couple of scores, but 3-0 is my main prediction. Yep. So here we go. On to the odds. Please, I don't condone gambling. When the fun stop, and in no way. Just gamble what you can afford. Simple as that. I say I literally gamble 50p or £1 a point. That's all it is. So it's just a little bit of interest. Last time out against Monchengladbach, yeah, a little profit. I made just a half-point profit thanks to the half-time, full-time, and under 3.5 goals. So I made a little half-point profit. So yeah, made 50p profit. There you go. That's fantastic because I just put £1 a point on. So there you go. Better than nothing. Yeah, better in my pocket than in Mr. Fred's or whoever it is. Yeah, so some of the odds. West Ham United, interesting one, to finish in the top 4, they're 9-2 at the moment. I say they are 4th at the moment. Can you see it happening? I think they'll drop. I think they'll drop out of the top 4. Even top 6 is 11-10. There's no real value in that. Will they finish top 6? I'll let you know. I'll let you know after this game what my opinion is. As I say, I always have a little look at the away team and see how they're going to do. But they've done really well, haven't they, so far? And all credit to them. But I think those odds are a bit mean. Next manager to go, as you'd expect, Pep and Moyes are both 100-1 as to be the next manager to leave the Premier League club. So I think there's no doubt that both managers are quite safe, aren't they? Let's be honest about it. The match odds, City you can get 2-9 on. The draw's 11-2, and a West Ham win you can get 12-1. So if you're a West Ham fan, I don't think that 50p on that is do no harm, would it? Yeah. So just for fun bets this week. How many bets have we got here? 1, 2, 3. Just 4 bets this week I'm going to have. Correct score, as I said, I've gone 3-0. So that's 7-1. So I'll have a point on that. And I'll go 4-1 as well. I'll go for a 4-1 scoreline. That's 18-1. That's a good price. So as long as Lingard doesn't score, that's it can be. I can't remember the other guy up front who's quite good as well. But yeah, I'll go 4-1 as long as it's not Lingard. I should have done him first goal scorer, shouldn't I, really? But after all the slagging off I've done. So yeah, that's 18-1. So that's 1 point on that. So 3-0 a point and 4-1 a point, both at 7 and 18-1 respectively. And I've gone for the total goals, so I've gone over 2.5 goals in the match, so there's got to be 3 goals plus combined. So I've gone 2 points at 4-7 on. I thought that's all right. It's not great, is it? I don't mind betting odds on. I know a lot of people don't, but I don't mind betting odds on for a couple of points, just for a bit of it's just for a bit of interest. I'm not after making any great big money out of this. It's just for a bit of fun. And the first corner I've gone on that market for my last bet, and first corner for City you can get 4-9. So yeah, I think that's fairly safe. I don't think there's many games we don't get the first corners. So 4-9, 2 points on that. We might make a little half-point profit again. Who knows? And that's that. Anyway, as I said, ever. Let me know what you're having to go on, but never ever bet more than you can afford. And if the fun stopped, stop. And the We're Not Really Here. It's a bit early yet. City haven't put out who's on We're Not Really Here, so I'm not going to take a stab at who's on there. But just check on the City website if you really want to know that. And that's that. Let me know what you think. Anyway, let me know what you think of the West Ham game. I say it could be a bit of a banana skin. I say it should be on the run we're having. We should be okay, shouldn't we? And we've got a cracking squad, and we've got players full of confidence. Perhaps need to sharpen up the finishing just a little bit. But perhaps if he takes Mr. Sterling out of the firing line and gets him practicing shooting, that might help, or passing, or even dribbling, or trying to get past the player rather than just running into him. That'll be an achievement. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Please check back for the review of this game, which will obviously be could be out Saturday night. Yeah, with it being obviously an early kickoff, there might be a review Saturday night. So press that notification if you want to know about that, and please check out my Citizen Channel vlogs. Obviously, there'll be a That Was the Week That Was quiz featuring the Arsenal and Monchengladbach, so that should be out by Saturday morning, as I'm recording this, the morning of the game. And the City Pass vlog and this will be out similar time actually. I did it last year, quite a few months ago, but just a little special on the 1976 League Cup final, which was played on the 28th of February, so that'll be out towards that anniversary date, so 26th, 27th I'll put that on. So please keep a lookout for that. I think there's some odd little questions on it as well. So if you know a little bit about the 1976 League Cup final against Newcastle, give it a watch. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this big match preview. Hope you enjoyed that. All comments are very welcome. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Citizen Channel. Perhaps you have a flick across, have a look at my TV and film channel. All I ever ask is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.